Hello guys, good afternoon and welcome back again to the channel. This is another story time, of how I caught my ex-husband cheating the fourth time, you guys. And after this fourth time I went crazy and I almost took my own life. I almost unalived myself, you guys. So my children have all left for school and I have a lot of errands to do, organizing this house or this room. So I want to be arranging it while we gist and talk. Okay, is it okay by you guys? Listen, if you haven't watched my part 1, part 2, part 3, this is the part 4. To be honest, you're missing. You really need to go back and catch up so as to understand this whole thing, because I understand that people have limits to what they can bear. I mean, there are things I can endure and you might not be able to endure it. Okay? Or I think there are things that maybe with these my stories that I've been sharing, you might watch it, you might listen to it and you feel like this person don't even suffer anything. But mind you, there are limits to what everybody can bear. There are certain things that you can bear that I might not really be able to bear. Okay, and there are certain things that I can endure and you cannot endure it as well. So let's not in any way make less of what anybody is feeling or what anybody went through or has been going through or have gone through in the past. I actually want to use it to educate people. I actually want to use it to reach out to people so that people who are in this situation or have been in this situation, or might even go through the same thing in the future, they know what to look out for, they know what to learn, so that we can all encourage ourselves, and so you don't feel maybe that you're not beautiful enough, because I've been there. So guys, I feel like I should sit at a place and have this conversation with you guys so that it will be easier, so that you can understand me and not get distracted, okay? So after it, I can still go back to what I was doing. So in part 3, right, I stopped at where he was convincing me to believe that I never saw anything, and that what I saw, I was just imagining things and making up things in my head, and how he cleared all the chats and everything. In fact, he as good as restored his phone to factory settings, so everything was gone. I had no evidence, remember, and I had no proof to tell anybody, look at what I've been seeing. So, and he would always deny it even before the two of us. So who is even going to believe me? And if he can deny it to my face, of course he's going to deny it in front of anybody, okay? And mind you, my mom decided to remove herself from the equation and not talk about it, and she was trying to make the marriage work at the time. She was just trying to make things work between the both of us, because she knows fully well that she convinced me to marry this man. So she was kind of taking everything in, taking the side insults, taking everything in, okay, while still trying to remove her mouth in our business so as not to sound like she was the one putting mouth, you understand? So, and then we started keeping malice. I started ignoring him. Don't mind you, I was still doing all the wifely duties, like preparing things for food, doing all that stuff, okay? But then I stopped talking to him and ignoring him. So now, after like few days, I guess he couldn't just help not talking to his ex-girlfriend, I guess it was just too much for him. It was just too much. He couldn't help it. So he went back, he downloaded his WhatsApp and kept chatting with her. He needed to make a call, to let the other lady know that things were still cool between them, their plans were still okay, so as not to get her worked up, okay? And so what he would do is he would go out, maybe in the house now, maybe there's no the toll has finished. He would now all of a sudden look at the tool is many small like this. You don't tell me that the tool is many small. I said, but you know what, let me go and buy the tool. And then he will leave the house. And once he leaves the house, the first time this thing happened, I didn't really notice. I called him. Immediately he left to go buy the tool. I remember that, okay, there's soap, and there's no soap. I needed to wash clothes, so please get me soap. So I took my phone to call him to buy soap. And the phone kept saying, busy, 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 busy. I said, is it network? Why is he saying busy? I kept calling him and he kept saying busy, 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 busy until he stepped back into the house. So when he came back into the house and said, he was not all happy. Somebody that left the house almost moody and stuff. He was not all happy. So he came to the house and said that he has gotten the tool. So he dropped his phone, and then I called him again. All of a sudden, the phone started ringing right inside the house. And I said to myself, but I've been calling him and he's been saying busy, busy, busy. So I told him, I've been calling you and your number is busy. Who were you talking to? He said, talking to, no, there's not talking to anybody. It might be network. I said, okay, network. So the next time he might all of a sudden decide, this broom is not fine again. There's no broom. Okay, let me rush to the road and go and buy broom. He will leave the house. And then you call him busy, 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 busy. So this time I said, okay, you know what, I'm going to tiptoe and follow him, like, and see why his phone is busy. So I came out. After, like, I gave him some few minutes, I came out and followed him. And then, boom, look at him making calls. Making calls. I kept calling him, he was busy. Making calls, he was busy because he was making calls. So immediately he came inside, I called the number again. Then I went through. So I said, oh, really? So so he goes out to make those calls he know that he will not make in the house, even though we were not really vaporing anymore. So I told him to please give me your phone. I want to use it and do something. He said no, that he will not give me his phone because that I'm not mentally stable to go through his phone. Because I might go through his phone now, all of a sudden start making things up. I'll start saying things. So no, that he has decided he will not be giving me his phone again, so that I'll not be seeing things. You understand? I said, what do you mean see things? That I need to make call. Let me use your phone and make call. He said no, that if I want credit, let him buy credit for me. But he's not going to give me his phone. I said okay. So one day, he went out and then he came back very late. I waited for him to come back so he can on the generator. It's not like I cannot on it myself, but I just wanted him to come back. Okay, he went to buy fuel. Yeah, he went to buy fuel. So I was waiting for him to come back so we can on the generator. So he bought the phone. Instead of him to pour it in the generator, he just dropped it and went inside. So I went inside to tell him that I should have on the generator. He was pressing. He said that if I want to, I can go on the generator now. I told him, please now, just on the generator. You're in the house. You cannot be in the house and then I'll still be doing all this hard work. Please, on the generator. Because where we used to keep our generator is far from the building. So he went to go, on the generator. Then somehow inside me, I started feeling guilty the way I talked to him, the way I spoke to him. So I now decided, okay, let me just escort him, just go there and stand with him while he pours the fuel into the generator and on the generator. So I followed him. So when I got there, he didn't realize he was bending down. He's supposed to be on the generator, right? No, he was supposed to be pouring oil in the generator. Tony Mass oil. That was what he went to buy. So he was supposed to be pouring the oil in the generator. So however, he squat down and then he was pressing his phone. So me that was coming clear consciously, to be honest, I wasn't sneaking up on him. I felt guilty the way I talked to him. So I just wanted to, escort him. So I was going to go meet him there. So remember I was standing over him while he was squatting and pressing his phone. So when I was standing back at the door, I felt maybe he was trying to on his torchlight. But after as I was getting closer, I realized that when I got there, I saw that he was chatting. And guess who he was chatting with? The same lady he told me I was going crazy over, that I was imagining things over. And don't get me wrong, because you might say, how did I know? How did I know it's the same person? The same profile picture, she was wearing a red gown in her profile picture. So the same profile picture was showing the red gown and he was typing with him. So immediately he realized that I was behind him. He turned and he almost jolted in fear. Like, why are you following me? That was his reaction. I said, no, I'm not following you. I only came to escort you. He said, okay, since I've come, I'm on the gen now. He turned and left. Where we used to keep generator is in the front of the yard. Like I told you there were 4 flats, 2 up, 2 down. We were living in the down room. So I assumed that all the people up saw what happened. And to think that I wasn't even living with this man. And the few times he came, I also saw what. So I felt so embarrassed. Like I just bent down, poured the oil into the oil pump, and then poured the fuel into the fuel side, and then I started the generator, and then I went inside. When I went inside, I sat in the living room, and I was thinking in my head, what is going on? What is going on? Am I imagining things I'm yet to happen? So I said, okay, no problem. So that night, we slept off. I slept up first, and then I woke up to see his phone on, and he had slept off. So I guess he was still chatting with this lady when he slept off. He dozed off with the phone still on. He hadn't had the chance to clear the chats and, block or be off his phone, or lock his phone, sorry. So I took the phone from his hand and I started reading through their chats. It was still the same lady that he was chatting with, making plans, saying things. So I now took screenshots, and then I forwarded it to my phone because I needed to be sure that I'm not going crazy. Say I'm not imagining things. Say something, nothing is wrong with my head. So I still have those screenshots till today. It's the only thing that kind of tells me that I wasn't really insane back then. So I forwarded those screenshots to my phone. You understand? And then the following morning, I just couldn't help it. I was just looking at him like this and thinking of all the promises he was making to me the day he came, the day I told him I will not marry. And how he was telling me, don't worry, I'm going to make you the happiest woman on earth. I'm going to do this one, I'm going to do that one, I was just looking at him, and all of a sudden I started seeing all the ugliness in him. All of a sudden I started seeing all those things that I hated about him. Remember I told you that after marriage, I started seeing the good things. But at this point, I started seeing all those terrible things again. And to think that I was in this thing forever. So one of his friends came, a very good friend of his came to the house, and I told him, says, look at what your friend is doing. Your friend is cheating on me. Look at. He said, then why am I worrying myself? Okay, no problem, that he's going to talk to him. He's going to talk to him. I thought I was actually talking to a responsible person. I didn't know the person, two of them, not the same people. So, to my surprise, they talked. So when I was eavesdropping, I heard him telling him, now what for you? Why you go make her see the thing? Now what for you? You know they smart. I mean to say they smart like this. So I came out. I just looked at them. And then I went inside. I changed my clothes. And then I wanted to go out. He ran and met me on the road. Because where I was living, you have to trek like a small distance before you get any taxi or anything. So he ran and met me on the road and asked me where I was going. I said, no, I just wanted to, step out, go out and buy something. He said, no, don't worry, that we should come, let's go back home. Then later in the evening we can step out. I said, no, then I need to go and buy. So he said, no, let's go back. And he pulled me back home. So when we came back home, every was just going on in my head. Was just going on in my head. I said, what is this? I don't follow for the women like this where they cry, like where they go through this kind of thing. I never knew I'd go through this kind of thing, like not in this kind of situation. I was thinking that after you don't stay for like how many years in marriage, don't see yourself finished, then things like this can start happening. But not when we are just starting and we've never even lived for 1 year. What am I saying? We've never stayed for 2 months stretch, apart from the 2 months I spent there to see him. We've never lived for 3 months straight up. Me and him never did for one house, even myself. We never stayed together. So the 2 months was just to come and visit me, you understand? So we've never lived together for 2 months straight. So where all this finish they come from? I was so stressed, so emotionally downcast. So, and at this point I was trying so hard not to get pregnant because I know myself. Anytime he comes back, I'll get pregnant. So I was trying so hard not to get pregnant because I've already had 2 children, and I didn't want to add another child to this level of stress I was going through. So if things continue the way it did, if we still continue, by now if I don't give birth to like 5 or 6 children, because February next year would have been 11 years of marriage. So by now if I be say I be mama if I don't have like 7 children. So I was so stressed, and I needed to go out to go buy medicine to take so as to prevent pregnancy. So I remember there's this herb that I put inside kai in Ever water so as to prevent Ever water bottle. So that's to prevent pregnancy. Okay, so I remember that I put it the time he came back, so I put it so I'll be taking it to prevent these things. So, and I said, hey, let me go take it and drink. My initial game was to take it and prevent pregnancy. So I took it. I drank the first shot, drank the second shot, and because I was so heartbroken, I was so in pain, I downed the whole bottle. I drank big Ever water. That kai hot drink was filled to the brim with the herbs inside it. I finished it. I kept drinking to lighten the pain, the heaviness in my chest. I kept drinking and I kept drinking and drinking. I didn't realize I was harming myself. I only know that I could hear my daughter, my first child. So my first child I could hear her crying, saying, Mommy, why are you doing this, Mommy? And I was telling her, subconsciously, you're a big girl now. Look after your sister. You have to look after your sister, yeah? Just take care of your sister. That was what I remember I was saying in that my subconsciousness. I didn't realize I've been like that for like 2 days. I didn't realize that I passed out for 2 days. And My mom, everybody was just trying to resuscitate me. You know, they were giving me coconut water, giving me all forms of medication, you know, to revive me. But I passed out. I slept for like 2 days straight. So when I eventually woke up, he started playing the videos that he recorded me of what I was doing, you know, things I was saying to our daughter. Because you don't know, I eventually lost that child, that my first daughter. I was telling her to be strong, take care of your sister. Even if I'm not here, even if I'm not going to be here, take care of your sister. My sister is Elena now, my first child now. You guys, I eventually lost that child. I'm going to tell you guys a story of how I eventually lost her, but that will be in a different video. For now, she's late. She was almost 4 when she died. So which means when this thing happened, she was 3 plus. She was just 3 years old when I was telling her to look after her 1-year-old sister. So, and you know the funny thing, I didn't even know I was already pregnant with Nwokoma. That's how I would have had my own child. I was taking the medicine to prevent getting pregnant. That was the initial goal, because I didn't want to have another child in this mess that we were already going through. And I knew myself, I'd always get pregnant every time he comes. So I didn't want that to happen again. I didn't want to get pregnant in that mess. So I was trying to, you know, take medicine, which was why I wanted to go out in the first place. But I didn't want to tell him because I know he was going to say no. You understand? Don't take any medicine. So when we came back home, that was when I remembered that, hey, there was this herb that I even put inside hot drink, ever water hot drink. So it would be nice to even take it now. By now, you don't infuse well into the hot drink. So I took the first 2 shots, which is normal thing. But then after taking those first 2 shots, it was alcohol. So I felt lighter. The pain in my chest felt lighter. And then I said, okay, let me take another one. So that was how I kept taking until I don't even know when I finished an entire 1 bottle of Eva. Big Eva, you know, Eva bottle, Regulus bottle. I didn't even realize when I finished 1 bottle like this. God. And the funny thing, or do I say God's blessing? You see, when you're young, you can go do a lot of things and get away with it when you're young. I don't think if that kind of thing if that kind of thing, God forbid, will not repeat itself at this my age, now I'm 32, I don't think that child would have survived. Because my Nwokoma was there giving back. He did not move. Which is why he told people that I actually tried removing the pregnancy, that I knew I was pregnant and I tried removing the pregnancy. I didn't know. I didn't know I was pregnant. I haven't even missed my period that time. I didn't know. I was taking it to prevent it, not knowing that I was already pregnant. I didn't lose Nwokoma. I eventually gave birth to Nwokoma, my son. So guys, that was the 4th time and how I almost unalived myself over a cheating spouse. God. How what? A cheating spouse. So please, if you're going through this kind of thing, because at that time I felt so invalid, I felt so ugly, I felt maybe there was something that I was not doing well, there was something that I was not doing, you know. I even had to ask him, what is it that I'm not doing? What? And he kept saying that, why am I making this thing? The funny thing is the way he would lie. The way he would make it look like something was wrong with them. And the way I subconsciously question myself, ask myself whether what I saw is what I saw. You know? So he never agreed, he never accepted, even when you caught him red-handed. So don't think that he would ever accept. That's if case you're in this kind of situation. Okay? They would never. Remember this music, Shaggy? So me see the Maricana, it wasn't me. At the fox that I told her, it wasn't me. I don't know how to sing this song, but you know that song, right? Shaggy kept telling, just say it wasn't me. They would never accept. So, but for people who are narcissistic, for people who are, you know, psycho, they would now turn it against you. They make you feel like the problem is coming from you and not them. Don't make it look like the problem is you and not them. So you keep questioning yourself. You keep acting like, did I really see this thing? Did I really? You know, you keep having these questions. But you know what you saw. You get. So please be strong out there if you're going through this kind of thing. If you haven't really, we are happy for you. I'm happy for you. Okay, I know that most men cheat. There are still good men. I know that there are still men that has Bible trained conscience and they really want to live up to, you know, the Bible principles and stuff. Of course there are, but majority of them out there, they're like wolves in sheep's clothing. They will act like they don't even look at women, but inside they're wolves looking for women to devour. So back then it used to hurt me so much. Back then I used to feel really, really bad, you know, feel so worthless, feel like. I'm glad he left when he did, because left for me, probably I wouldn't have gotten the courage to leave eventually, because I wanted it to work. I wouldn't have gotten the strength to, you know. So which was why I started looking for how to empower myself financially. I started looking for businesses to do, some things to, you know, remove my hand, stop thinking about him and all the stupid things he's doing. Which was why I wanted something to give me money so I can focus on myself and not have to ask him for every damn thing. And not have to get disrespected every single time I ask for simplest things, slightest things. And yet, no. He refused to let me work. He refused to let me have a job of my own. He refused to let me go into the internet and make money online. I mean, I tried getting jobs. He said no. Start business for me. He said no. Which was why I said, okay, at least online is free. I gotta make money there myself. And he said no. And it was a criteria. I think it was at this point that I knew that no, I cannot deal with this thing. Because if he didn't go for the divorce, bet you, he would have taken a little time, but I would have gone for it myself. So when he eventually went for it, I said, you understand? Time. If I'm going to remember any other time, I'm still going to come back here and share it. Because we're going to be spilling every damn thing, okay? Every single thing. So that people can learn. So that people can, you know, learn. So that you see those slight things that you think, it's normal, he's just doing it. It could actually be meaning something. And I'm not saying leave your marriage, but so you can know how to empower yourself and know how to build yourself and know how to protect yourself. Because if you keep turning deaf ears or blind eyes to these things, one day you're going to contact something that you're going to regret for the rest of your life. And you would have wished, I should have left when I found out. I should have done this. I should have done that. A lot of women have lived with their husband, not knowing that the husband has another family somewhere else, or that the husband has removed their wife's name from all his dealings, from all his financial things. And they're just there, figurehead wives, they don't even know. But when you find out these things that he's doing, you'll be able to empower yourself. Start looking for how to make money for yourself. Start looking for how to get things for yourself, so you can protect yourself. So thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in my next video.